Hi, I'm Nixie, and today we have Heidi here with us because at the start of the year I mentioned I wanted to look a bit more into my doll's interests and hobbies. Now Heidi here, she really loves plants, and so we're going to try and fill this room with a bit more greenery for her. And before we go on, please do excuse this horrible bruise on the back of my hand. I managed to fail opening a door at work at the beginning of the week and it's just got darker and darker, ready for me to film this video. So the first plant I'm going to add is this Miniverse one. I did it some time ago, but I think it's a good start. And you know what? Let's start the video with some Miniverse. The Make It Mini Lifestyle capsules do have quite a nice range of plants, and because they do guides, like Cheats Guide, you can work out what's inside the capsule when you buy it. Now this one is from an earlier series, and the code is written on here, 19, whereas a lot of the new ones have little tiny sort of pinholes that are sort of in strategic places, and you can work out what they are based on those. So let's get number 19 open and we'll get to see what's inside it. Okay, and here we go. This should be a plant. Inside we get the usual safety guides, collector's guides, tweezers, which are also quite a standard thing. Then we get this green bag, Sun Grow, and 2 items wrapped in newspaper. We'll open the bag first. And we've got a miniature trowel, some potting mix, and some rocky mix. In the first newspaper, it's a container that I assume we're going to be putting our plants in. And then in the second newspaper, we get, are we dropping them? The succulents. Now this one I think is pretty much identical to this one that I opened previously. But this is a new star succulent, which is cute. As you can see on the bottom, there is little root bundles. And if we take a little look at the collector's guide, we can see this is the one I got. It's a succulent crate. Now the instructions are quite simple. Soil, put the plants in, put the rocks in. This is why I quite like the plants. Nice and easy, no resin. Okay, so let's come down here to fill the tray. So the soil is kind of like kinetic sand. So it's not like completely loose. It's sort of got a bit more stick to it. Okay, so I don't want to fill it too full because I do need to put the rocks on top. You know, it's kind of got like a chocolate cake look to it, but with chocolate chips because it's got these sort of little stone bits as texture. So now I'm just going to try and squeeze these in. Just try and press the sand kind of round it. I mean, there are going to be some pebbles on top, so that will also help support it. Then just do the same with this one. And now those are in, we can scatter the pebbles on top. You can see why the tweezers might be useful to start to help place them after we've sort of poured in a load. So yeah, we just use them to just make sure everything's kind of where we want them. So there we go, really quick, really simple to do the Miniverse plants. The only issue with this specific one is these rocks are loose on top, so we've got to make sure we store this nice and flat. So this plant I've now put up here, and I think this looks quite nice on the shelf here. So the other capsule I have is number 20, and if I've got this right, this also should be plants. So let's get the second bit off. So inside we're hoping to see some green bags, and oh yes, we've got green bags. So this is everything we get inside, and you might be able to guess which one I managed to get. But first up we will open the bag. Inside is another trowel, and this time a sandy mix. We then have wrapped up in newspaper. And just before I show you it, I do love these newspapers. Like, Miniverse didn't have to go there with the packaging, but it did. So the tray is a nice sort of golden oval. The plants we're going to get are... So we have another succulent, but this time it is a different colour one. And then this cute little sort of dangling plant. And then finally the bit I was most excited for. It's a little kitty pot. So we've got this one which is a sort of terracotta colour and white. But then we have cute cat pot. It has little legs and little ears. I just thought it was adorable, so I was looking for this one. Or I'd have been happy with this one, but the other one's the one I found. So this is called the succulent pear number 2. And of course, nice easy instructions again. Soil mix, plants in. So let's try and fill these both up with the mix. Ooh, it's very springy. Might just be easier to use my hands. Right, they've now got a reasonable amount in. We will try and squidge the plants in. See, this is the only thing I have trouble with. I don't think the kinetic sand really likes having stuff in it, but we will try and squeeze and make it work. Okay, so I'm just going to use this sand to kind of top up a bit around the outside, just to get it nicely packed in. And I've done the same with the cat. And again, nice, simple plants. We are already looking a bit more verdant in this living room. And there are more in this series to collect as well. I don't currently own any of the cacti. I do think these hanging terrariums are quite cute. I wouldn't mind those. And I do also like the succulent pair #1 with the other kitty. But I think the main thing I really like about the Miniverse plants is that they're quick and simple to make and look really effective. You know, I actually saw on Instagram someone post that Mini Brands Create series are potentially going to be also doing plants to copy Miniverse. So I'd be interesting to see how they link that to a brand. Maybe they've teamed up with like a garden centre chain. But more plants, I'm all for that. But another really quick way of getting some more greenery is buying some fake plants like these. So I've got quite a few of these little ones that came from Temu, and honestly I think they're pretty good. I'd say that pot looks a bit more realistic to have inside a Barbie house, whereas those look a bit more outside size just because they're bigger. But you can always pull bits out and make smaller plants from them. So this is just a little glass jar I filled with some pebbles and pulled one of those out to make just a little single plant. So like I say, you can just pull bits out and chuck them in a planter. For this one, as I haven't filled it with any pebbles, don't necessarily want to see all of the stalks. So I'm just going to cover it with some paper and seal it with a bit of double-sided tape. So just stick that down. And then you can't see the bottoms of the stalks, but you do have another nice little planter to put in your room. Now Temu, I did find it was quite a good source of cheap just plastic plants. I find whenever I go to shops they're not that cheap. This one, it came as sort of a job lot of different ones, and it's quite good because these all pull off individually and kind of look a bit like the succulents. Now I do have a couple of cute terracotta pots, so to put something inside it, I'm going to use a tip I saw on my froggy stuff and just get a bit of brown felt and roll it up. So there's a nice coil and just pop it in the pot. And then it can look a bit like soil, and we can just put our little plant in like that. So that one possibly would look quite nice outside, being in the terracotta, but maybe to do it as an indoor one, this is just the cap off a lip seal, because when you start doing miniatures you've got to save everything that you normally would have thrown away. It's good for reusing and recycling, it's just storage becomes worse. To fill up this pot, I think I'm going to use some of my leftover Miniverse potting mix. How you could potentially fill it up with maybe like hot glue and then stick it on so it's quite a permanent feature. The thing I like about this though is if you want to change it, you can easily remove it. So let's just get some inside. Yeah, it's all sticking to the drum. And I actually had a perfect amount of leftover potting mix between that one that I'd saved and that one. So then we'll just chuck this in here. And Miniverse, eat your heart out, we have our own little sort of succulent in a pot. Obviously I'm sure you could buy your own kinetic stand to have achieved the potting solar, not taken from Miniverse. Essentially, wherever you can find any sort of pot and fake plant, the possibilities are quite endless. So this one I've just filled with some more of the aquarium pebbles that I have, and just put it inside and bam, instant plant. So essentially I would say that is the quick, easy hacks way to get greenery into your doll's life. Hopefully Heidi here will now be feeling a bit more at home with all these plants. I think next time, however, that we get Heidi back on the channel, we need to look at actually making some plants from scratch. We've made a good start with what we've got, but I think she's going to need more. For now though, thank you very much for watching as I made some Miniverse plants and used fake plastic plants for my Barbies as well. If you did like this video, please do hit the thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, do subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!